This video by Divergence Analysis was done September 24th, 2013, and we're going to demonstrate how we would trade the dollar-yen using our short-term trend indicator along with our buy-sell pressure indicator. Now, one of the things we're going to do, this is the short-term trend indicator that we're using, that we currently see up there now. One of the things we've been playing around with you is what we're going to show here. Now, this is a weekly chart, but what I want to do is I want to change this just a little bit, and I'm going to go to the indicator. I'm going to right-click. Well, you got to get right on a line, and I'm going to right-click on that line. It'll say DVAN Short Term Trend, and I'm going to hit Settings. Okay, under Macro Oscillator 2. I'm going to bring that menu down and change that to a histogram, and I'm going to bring the width down and change it from 1 to 3, and then hit update. And now here's what we're going to be looking at. This is the algorithm, the green line. Okay, alright, that is the very, very short-term force of any move right there. And we want to be really looking at that as it goes from negative to positive. This is a zero line. Okay, and then our concentration for positions and for knowing which way short-term moves go are from this histogram, which is the short-term flow. Now, even in this sideways thing, you see the short-term flow from going at this level, it's decreasing, which means it's going up, and it comes in, flattens out, then goes through zero. This is the most important part right here. When it goes through zero, the algorithm is way in the lead here, showing you a lot of force as this goes positive, and that is right here. Well, that's the most important part. You see the force, I'm going to use the track line. You see the force begin right here. Okay, so it begins right here, and it goes to right here when the algorithm comes back in the short-term flow. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a sell right here or anything. What would mean more of a sell, if you're speculating, is the short-term flow starts to go back down, starts to go downward. Alright, so from right here, the short-term flow goes downward. Right here is the most important point where it goes from positive to negative. Again, it was led by the algorithm, the green algorithm, showing this is the way everything's going. And so we go in, this is rather flat, it's not exuberant or anything, but it is showing you the short-term flow is on down right here. The algorithm gives us spikes showing the force of it, and every time the algorithm comes back into the flow, the red flow, it means that force is paused or ending. Alright, here we go back and we see the short-term flow going forward, and we see the algorithm leading the way, and this is a super sign of force right here. But all we need to follow is this short-term flow line going upward and upward and upward to right here, and then you see it kind of flatten out. Now, here's where we want to bring in something else real quickly. The buy and sell cycles that we identify with these smart lines, meaning the trend line is the blue line, and the red is the stop line, and the dashed gray line is the pivot line. The pivot line is where the trend changes. You see right here, prices going through the pivot, and you see the trend line turning down. And this gets pretty flat and everything. You see them working back up to the trend line again, the pivot line again, and you see the trend turning up again. The real buy cycles and sell cycles are dependent on these convergences right here. There's where you see the trend going down, the stop is on top, that's a sell cycle. Trend goes up through the stop line, stop is on the bottom, this is a buy cycle. This is how you can stay in a huge move, even when you see the short-term flow, but it's really built up positive here. Look at the amount of room between here and zero, and you can see the flow takes you all the way up here. And then, you know, we're coming to a point now where it's really flat. We're really watching to see what happens here at 0. Do we resume the flow back up, or does the flow go negative? And this green line, the algorithm, will give us the heads up because it will lead the way.